Well, hello. Welcome to my yellow raincoat. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel. We are already on season 6. I can hardly believe it. If you missed season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, please check those out. I have been presenting life lessons that my students told me were very important in their lives. Today's lesson is concerning finding your students' gifts, finding your own child's gifts. We find their gifts. We can help change an attitude, we can change behavior, and we can change a life. So the first child I'm going to describe is Donte. Donte was in second grade when I met him, and I was in the beginning of the school year. The teacher has to test out the kids a little bit, listen to them read, see what reading level they're at, see how their skills are, what skills they need, what skills they're ready to go on for the next level of that skill. So I was listening to Donte, and Donte could not read. Even the simple word like cat, he was unable to read that word. And I was wondering, well, what happened? Because with Sesame Street and kindergarten and first grade, how did he get to second grade without being able to read? So I was talking to him one-on-one, and I had him trying to figure out what it was, why he was unable to read. And I looked at him and I saw these big dark eyes that were just like filled with excitement. And I could tell he was embarrassed and he felt sad about the whole thing and frustrated. And I looked at him and I said to him, you know what? You are going to learn to read this year. And guess what? You are just going to love it. You're going to love reading. I am so excited. Now you're going to have to work really hard. Are you ready to work really hard? Okay, then let's get started. I worked with Donte. He basically read all day long in my class. He did flashcards. He did phonics skills. He did sight words. He read by himself. He read with a partner. He read in group. He read to me. And every person that walked in that room, if someone came in to change the light bulb, have you heard Donte read? You got to hear Donte read. Donte read all day long. If the principal stopped in, did you hear Donte read? Oh my gosh, he's in a new book. You got to hear Donte read. Donte would always smile, but he was quiet about it. But you could just tell he loved reading. He knew that he was reading. Well, by the end, I would say before the end of the year, just a little bit past the middle of the year, Donte tested out at a third grade reading level. And for me as a teacher, I was so happy because I knew he was never going to go backwards. He would never not know how to read the word cat. He was just going to keep going forward. Well, normally I read letters and I tell you what the student said to me. This time I don't have a letter. I actually had a visitor. Donte's sister, who was a freshman in high school, came to visit me one day. And she said to me, I just want you to know something. When Donte used to come home from school, he used to watch TV. He doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't even turn the TV on. When Donte comes home from school, he reads. You have no idea how excited I was about that. Now, Donte's mom was a little shy, and we were having a class party, and she wanted to contribute something, so she kind of opened the door and just threw in some bags of candy. So I went to Donte and I said, you know, Donte, I have to organize the party for tomorrow. It was the next day, the party. So the next day I said to Donte, you know what? I have to organize for the party and get everything set up. Oh, we're going to put out all your delicious candy. The kids are just going to love it. Could you do me a favor? Could you read a story to the class so that I could get the party ready? Wow. I mean, that did it. He knew. He was now confident. He had the confidence to know that he could read his story to the class. And wow, they clapped and he was excited. I found his gift. And I changed his life because, like I said, he's never going to go backwards. He's only going to go forward, especially because he loves it. Now, I had another student in 8th grade. His name was James. And James had, I don't even know how to say this very tactfully, but James had quite the attitude. He was very sarcastic. I mean, I would roll my eyes. I would have to take him out in the hall. Sometimes he said things that were so inappropriate, he would have to be disciplined. But I looked at him and I just thought, he's seeking negative attention. I need to find his gift so that we can get rid of that negative attention and I can give him only positive attention. So I noticed that every minute, when we had a minute of free time, when he got to class early and the bell hadn't rung yet, if they had a minute in between assignments or before class was going to change, he always had a book out. He was always reading. And he was an outstanding reader. He was reading all the New York Times bestsellers. Well, I know that if you read a lot, you become a better writer because you learn styles, you learn word choice, you learn how to arrange words, and it just works that way. The more you read, the better writer you become. So I started looking at we started getting into the writing in the classroom, and I started really paying attention to his written work. And I could see exactly what I thought. He had such a way with words. He was such a great writer. And I thought to myself, okay, this is it. You found his gift. You're going to start complimenting him on this work, presenting this work in class. Let's see where this goes. The kids knew from his writing that he was gifted. He was a gifted writer. And we would ask, I would say, like, what did you like about this paragraph? Did anybody hear a word that they were surprised to hear in his writing? I would put his word projected onto the whiteboard, and I would start to have him, help students that needed help with writing. The interesting thing about all of that is that the more I complimented him, the more I realized and was able to tell him, this is great, this is wonderful, and kind of let some of that attitude just kind of not pay so much attention to that, but really focus on his talented gift here. It seemed that that attitude was like disintegrating into thin air. All of a sudden, he wasn't that same kid. He didn't have that attitude. Whatever was causing that negative behavior, that seeking that negative behavior, he was like a sponge absorbing the positive behavior. So for him, I'd like to read a letter. I actually don't even need my glasses. I usually put my glasses on to read. This letter wasn't that long. Dear Miss Rand, I love you. James. That said it all. So, the point of this, find their gifts. Don't focus on the negative. Find your students, find your child's gifts. And you will change a life. You will change behavior. And you will change an attitude. Thank you so much for listening. And check out season 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And please give me some feedback so that I can improve my YouTube channel. Bye.